Greetings, everyone, and thank you for joining the conversation. This is your host, CJ Ward, and I'm joined here again today with the awesome Dana Branham.
Yeah.
How are you doing today, Dana?
I'm doing great. Looking forward to the weekend already.
Hey, likewise. It's around that time of year, so
Absolutely.
I understand. So, now here at a Conscientious Conversation, the term is it only requires two or more willing individuals, and it's an open and honest conversation. A conversation with the intent of improving the quality of life for the entire country and not just for select groups of this United Nation. So let's have a seat and discuss. So today, Dana and I are joined with the awesome Dr. Ricky Jones. Dana, would you mind introducing our prestigious guest today?
Absolutely. So Dr. Jones is the director of the Pan-African Studies program at the University of Louisville. I believe you're in is this your last year as director? Did I read that?
Yeah. And I would say this because people who are in higher education understand Pan-African Studies at Louisville is actually a department, not a program. Gotcha. So it's one of the oldest Black studies departments in the country. And I'm the chair. And so I'm coming up to the end of my chairmanship.
Okay. Well, you've done an awesome job there. And so I'm sure we'll get into some of the work that you've been doing there. But he's also a Morehouse man, proud Morehouse man.
Yes.
Proud member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, activist, author, father, citizen, productive citizen, right? And so we are glad to have him here with us for this conscientious conversation.
Hey, thank you, Sister Dana. I appreciate y'all having me. You know, much love. It's always good to hang out with family. Much love to the Morehouse men out there. Much love to the Noops. Much love to Black studies scholars all over. Much love to Black people. Much love to Brother CJ Ward. And he told me if I did this show, he was going to give me that fly hat that he went to.
He put you on the spot right there.
He put me on the spot. Everybody knows I'm a hat guy, so I got you, man.
Yeah, that's a nice one there, brother.
I appreciate it, man. Try to keep style, and also just for the state of Black males, and not just Black males, but males period. It's okay to be masculine and also have style. So
yeah, no doubt.
So today,
thank y'all for doing that, for being that.
No problem. Thank you for the acknowledgement, sister. Real, really.
We appreciate the affirmation. We need that.
So today, don't want to waste your time. I know, busy schedule, especially this time of year. So I appreciate you for making time for us. I had the opportunity to meet you a few times, and it was one in the panel in Lexington and also one time in Louisville. Just from this, I wasn't able to come up just because of schedules and everything. But I always was like very articulate, knew who he was. So it's definitely a sense of self-worth and also a sense of giving back. So, during your time at University of Louisville, and especially with not only it being a department, but an actual department, what are some of the things that you've seen over the years as far as just community, how it's changed, how it's gotten better, or, things in between?
That's a broad one, man. I think, again, first of all, thank y'all for having me. Thank you for inviting me. It is not even a question of just, making time. My thought is if you don't have time for Black people and the endeavors that we try to put forth to change the world and change the world for ourselves, change the world for our children, then, what are you really doing? So none of us should ever feel like we're so high and so busy that we can't do that. I hear people all the time, man, talk about, I'm so busy. I'm like, yeah, okay, let's let those cliches go. You make time for things that are important to you. And certainly you all in our communities are important to me.
Right.
What have I seen change? I'm finishing up I'm now my 25th year at the University of Louisville. So I got in this game pretty young, right? Finished my PhD. I was still in my 20s. But I didn't come to the University of Louisville for the University of Louisville, right? I have no emotional ties to the University of Louisville. I'm not saying that they mistreated me. I think they've treated me like they would treat any Black person. I mean, you hear and you may not be abused, but for the most part, you kind of disregard it. You know, you're not doing anything to put them on their toes. But I came here because of the Department of Pan-African Studies, because I think Black Studies is the vehicle through which intellectually we serve the people, right? And so that was very, very important to me. I have never sold the city of Louisville or the University of Louisville, the people I've tried to recruit to our department. I sell our department. We have a great intellectual family in Pan-African Studies. It's a rich tradition running back to 1973. But what have I seen change? You know, Brother CJ, I think, and Sister Dana, I think Louisville, no disrespect to anybody in Lexington or anywhere else in the state, because as you all know, I went to graduate school at UK. UK was actually kind of good to me, gave me an opportunity that if I hadn't have been given that opportunity, I wouldn't have a PhD. But Louisville is to Kentucky as Atlanta is to Georgia, really.
Sure.
You know, Louisville is really where Black people are concerned. It's the cultural center. It's where you have the dominant majority of Kentucky's Black population, but it still lags. So I make that comparison, though the comparison is really not apt. Like, people look at the election of Raphael Warnock recently in Georgia. They talk about Georgia becoming a blue state. No, not really. Georgia's being driven by Atlanta. Okay. Right. You talk about metropolitan Atlanta, not Atlanta, the city proper, but metropolitan Atlanta, all those areas that orbit the city. You talk about a population that's right at 6 million people. The state of Georgia has about 10 million people in it. So 60% of the population of Georgia is in metro Atlanta. So that gives you an incredible amount of social and political equity, you know, that power that you have there. So it shifts things. Louisville is about a quarter of the population of Kentucky. Kentucky is right at 4 million people. So there are more people in metro Atlanta, right, than there are in the entire state of Kentucky, but only about 25% in Louisville, and Louisville can't drive the state of Kentucky in the same way that Atlanta can drive the state of Georgia. So I thought, and then we can follow up on this as we drill down into specifics. When I came here, I thought that Louisville was small enough to be manageable, big enough to be considered a metropolitan area, but small enough to be manageable and where you can make some serious changes. A lot of those things have not happened that I thought would happen when I came in the 90s. So I can't tell you racially exactly where Louisville is going. There've been a lot of missed opportunities. And so if I can't tell you where Louisville is going as far as a positive direction is concerned, then the state is a very, very different conversation.
Right. Absolutely.
I think
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate, right?
Yeah.
Totally unfortunate that that's the case. It's a big unknown all the time.
Yeah, well, and you know, to be quite honest, I've been telling people this for the last 4 or 5 years, that Louisville, and particularly the state of Kentucky, has to make a decision on what it wants to be. And it seems to me, as you look at it politically, culturally, socially, you know, ideologically, that decision has been made. You know, you got a good percentage of the power brokers in the state, who've decided that they want to keep Kentucky a white ethno state. I mean, and that's what they push for. So this is why you get the politicians who are elected from across the state, right? This is why the last governor of the state, who was a virtual madman, right? And he still didn't lose by that much when he ran for re-election. So I think they're being successful at that in keeping this a white ethno state. But the times have changed. The world is moving along, right? And so I think Kentucky is going to be in a pickle moving forward unless something radical changes, because as the world becomes more cosmopolitan and ideologically progressive, and I'm not talking about, you know, that term used in politics proper, I'm talking people who just trying to change the world, right? Yeah. I don't think that they're going to come to Kentucky. And people, and even natives who have those types of sensibilities, they're going to leave. So the brain drain that is going to happen moving forward in the state is going to be tough. I mean, I have a 13-year-old daughter. I mean, I'm an Atlanta kid. Yeah. I'm still here because of my daughter. It is understood. You know, my daughter understands her mother who also has a PhD, and she's a native Kentuckian. When our daughter graduates high school, she's gone. She's not allowed to attend college in the state. And, you know, when that happens, I'll probably be out as well.
Yeah, I'm one of those brain drain kids who left a few years ago and haven't looked back even. And I can remember I was sharing this with CJ offline that I remember when I graduated college, went to Howard, proud Howard grad.
Yeah, HU.
Say that, HU, you know. I had one of my brother's friends mention to me, so are you going to move back? And I was thinking at the time, heck no, I'm not moving back. I might have used another word, but I was not at all considering that. I did, stayed way longer than I wanted to or should have, and can't wish I had done it sooner, and because of feeling like, and this may be what you feel as well, total fish out of water. Not better than, not, you know, you're down level from me, not any of that, just a totally different mindset. And I couldn't let it go on any longer.
Where are you now?
I'm in Charlotte.
Okay, yeah, up and coming. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you, CJ, where are you based in right now, brother?
I'll have to say I'm literally in the same boat. I went to Tulsa last year, but I'm going back and forth from Oklahoma to Kentucky right now, just doing business. But I had the same experience when I moved to Louisville was in 2006. I was there for 10 years and, you know, worked with the school system, worked with higher ed, actually at the university, with certain community agencies. And those 10 years, I just knew, you know, certain people would come in like, you're still here? And I was like, I'm here for the youth. I was like, right. I was trying to believe in community, but then it got to a point where I was just like, I can't take it anymore. It just felt like I was trapped. It was a ceiling that I could not get past. So even, you know, when I left out in high school, I was like, I'm out of Kentucky, because it was just certain things with the mentality that I'm just, not that I was better than, it was just certain things that I knew it wasn't going to change. I mean, how long has a lot of, you know, Kentucky's friend, McConnell, been in office? And there's been some of the same things that, you know, continue to come on. So, you know, I definitely understand, you know, and I appreciate you for staying there as long as you did, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people have been impacted because of you being there. But there's a certain mentality that just will not change. Just as, you know, the flooding issues that happen in some parts of the city. There's a certain things that needs to be done for the water system to prevent that from happening. But what do? You have to go back, you know, recreate some of those old structures to make sure the structure going forward will be able to handle the, you know, the water, whatever else the environment may bring. But just as it hasn't done that with that, it hasn't done that socially. So, you know, I'm definitely looking forward to, you know, somewhere else. You know, I'm still searching right now, you know, for a community that I not only share their mentality, but they also share mine. Because you can have all the hope in the world, but if you're not around a environment that is hopeful, what's the use? Wow. Nothing ever was handed, all about respect, never about ego. Wish I could have retired a long time ago and disappeared way beyond the trees. But my homies kept influencing me, said they needed to hear my lyrics, like my flow, cause they felt my spirit. Plus the people needed to hear it. A conversation with conscientious lyrics.